the task force. She's like,
She did tell me that.
I got my email, but she didn't tell me how much it was or how long it was.
$15 or.
Yeah, knock on, find some wood to knock on the gavel.
We had our camper board retreat yesterday. There was a lot of this.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't say that.
Oh, Gordon at the Journal sent us over a list of questions about what ways, so there'll probably be an article about that in Thursday's paper.
What did he send over?
Questions.
About
About-
administering
Oh,
it.
okay, good.
Issues. It is on this road.
I just about had a heart attack when I came down today and saw the cars in the parking lot.
Yeah. We got it open.
Oh, they're over there.
We're gonna do a count the bricks
Oh,
competition.
I don't have.
A count the bricks competition.
Parking lot.
Whoever, the Price is Right rules, so whoever gets closest without.
Really?
Right.
We're gonna.
We need to do that.
Well, we don't want to give people time to go out there and count them. So,
Gonna be surprised
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, so we'll give people like 2 days, but
Yeah.
somebody's gonna, go on an aerial and measure it and then go get the width of a brick and do the math. Geometry, I don't know how to do it, but
How'd you know?
they tell me it's possible.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
Miguel just joined.
huh?
Miguel is here
Oh,
with
okay.
us, okay?
That's how I was gonna win the competition.
Yeah, city employees and or representatives are not eligible to
okay.
participate.
Fighters, winners.
Very good.
I'll tell you how many bricks. are.
What's the prize?
It's a generously donated $100 gift card from our mayor, Nisco.
Oh,
Gas card.
Yes.
cool. Keep
But we're not
going.
gonna tell people, we're gonna make them just guess, right?
If somebody
We
uses.
don't want people out
the-
there counting for 3 days.
No, exactly.
If somebody successfully uses aerial imagery to determine how many bricks, you need to hire them as our GIS. guy. That's.
You wouldn't do well.
Good evening, everybody. The study session, January 10th, 2023 is called to order. Donna, will you do a roll call, please?
I will. Councilmember Bode.
Here.
Councilmember Sherman.
Here.
And on Zoom, we have Councilmember Gutierrez,
Here.
Mayor Nesco,
Here,
Deputy Mayor Schmidt,
Here.
Councilmember McDowell,
Present.
and Councilmember Peterson.
Here.
all right. City Manager Jeff Knighton has information for us about revising the council protocol manual.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, deputy mayors, members of council. Earlier, the memo says earlier this year, but that's kind of impossible. So earlier in 2022, council directed staff to take a look at the protocol manual, open it up to council suggestions for potential revisions, and look at revisions from our end that would make council operations more efficient. We, along with suggestions from several of the council members, we've noted a few things here. And I've noted the page numbers of these potential revisions in your in the memo itself. The other thing I want to mention is that after tonight's study session, we will prepare the revisions in the protocol manual document, and then council would need to adopt an ordinance superseding the original ordinance that adopted this. So this will come back at a regular business meeting and then on your action agenda following that. So the first potential revision was on page 13 of the current manual, and it's section 2.07B. And that is to make the rules that currently exist in section 7.07 apply to the outside boards as well. So these would be things like the opioid stakeholder group, or the you all have your committee assignments for PRPTO, that kind of thing. It would make the same requirements apply, and the rules in 7.07 are 3 unexcused meetings would be basically a forfeiture of the seat. So that was the suggestion made, and I'm happy to hear any comments or questions that council has about that suggestion.
I think it's very good.
I think 3 is fair.
We, there are times where we just goes over our head, but 3 will give us a chance to get back on the horse.
Okay.
Get back going.
There was a point of clarity of whether it's just a forfeiture of the board seat or of the council seat. So that was because 707 applies to your council seat. So if you miss 3 regular council meetings, then that would be a forfeiture of the seat, subject to the vote of the majority of the council. But not sure. I just wanted to be clear when we say this in here, so there's no ambiguity in the future that whether it's a forfeiture of the council seat or just a seat on that board, whatever board it happens to be. So
And that would just be if there was non-excused absences.
yes.
Yeah,
So 707.
and people can Zoom virtually.
Yeah.
So am I clear that you're asking us what we think about what we think, whether it should be a forfeiture of a seat or just that void?
Yeah.
Well, being someone who hasn't made it to a single one, I would probably say just the board. I think getting off the council because you didn't make it to the board things is pretty rough, but I also am not attached to that up.
Well, also, I agree with you, because like, let's say that one of your boards is on a Thursday night, and for some reason you just cannot make Thursday nights, but Tuesday nights you have absolutely no problem with. I think that's fine. Okay, Tuesday nights, you know you're here, you never miss, or you've always been excused, you're good here, but that other board maybe isn't fitting with your life right now, it needs to be given to somebody else.
Okay.
It'd be nice to step down before you get excused off of it.
There's.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So just for clarity,
Mhm.
7.07 says council members are expected to attend all meetings except in the cases of excused absences. A council position shall become vacant if the council member fails to attend 3 consecutive regular meetings. So if it's the council's desire, we can amend that language slightly in the outside boards section to say the council member's position on the board, just to make that abundantly clear.
And that would also go for this, if you had 3 unexcused absences for here, it would also
Mhm.
apply, I would say, right?
And that's how it's currently written.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And again, on Kathy's point, if we can't make these meetings on a permanent basis, we should let somebody else take them, because makes us look bad if we're representing the city and.
Right.
And we're not getting to their meetings, like, you know, I'm on a transit board, that's a pretty important board, and they make big decisions that I don't agree with sometimes, but
Well, and that's to your point, Mayor Onisco, I think it's more than just the perception of whether the council is engaged in that process. I think it also has to do with, are we accurately representing our residents by being there? There's a reason all of those boards ask for a city representative, and if we're going to be committing to taking that on, then I think we have an obligation to fulfill that.
I agree.
No concerns with the board segment, but the actual council position, I'd be interested in understanding that from a legal perspective. You have, I mean, because what's to stop the council from not excusing a member?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, that's already
So
in
if
there.
we were to choose to not excuse a member from an official business meeting 3 times, then what?
Well, I can't see anybody not
They would-
excusing somebody for.
Well, no, but they would, the
Crazier stuff
council,
has happened.
true, but the council member would also have to fail to attend 3 consecutive times. So,
Consecutive time.
yes,
That's a key word in there.
yes.
Okay,
So not just in any particular time period, it's
It
3.
wouldn't be like miss a meeting their first year, miss a meeting their second year, miss a meeting their 4th year, and you know.
And yeah. With this city council, if I could say, I've never had any one of you or any former members not shoot me an email or give me a call and say, you know, something's come up, I won't be able to make it. And I think that for regular council meetings, and I think that is I think that would not be a potential area of concern going forward.
And we have Zoom bill.
Right.
As Ken says every time. You know, I can Zoom bill you from Hawaii. May happen soon enough.
As long as the beach isn't in the background.
I'll do it at the pool. Eating bottle, eating cigar.
That's true. So is it fair to say that we add into this section 207B, that if a council member fails to attend 3 consecutive meetings, then the seat on that board is forfeit.
What page is that, Jeff?
13.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we got that one. Second suggestion, I'm sorry.
Good Terrace has any comments on that?
Where'd he go?
Oh, there you are. Good for you.
Where is he?
You gonna see the shine?
Still here in the dark.
Do you have any comments on this?
3 strikes and you're out.
So the next one concerns section 7.08, and it starts on page 25 and is continued on to page 26 of the current manual. So this one is the provision that allows attendance via speakerphone or AVS. The suggestion was made to add Zoom to that, as we've all come into this new realm. The other thing, as part of this policy, it says, gives examples or situations where the AVS would be able to be used or Zoom, assuming that's added. And then an agenda is time sensitive. What I would propose is for Zoom specifically that those items, there doesn't necessarily need to be a reason. A specific reason for the use of Zoom if a council member is unable to attend, because it limits it to 2 times per year.
Mhm.
And I think especially in the new environment that we're in now, that may be more likely that people take advantage of that in the future.
Mhm.
So my suggestion would be to either raise that limit higher than 2 or eliminate that section altogether.
I'd probably eliminate it.
I eliminate it.
Yeah.
Capping it seems silly.
Any other concerns or comments? No, okay. Let's get that. Moving right along. Final suggestion is on page 33. And that is section 8.07 of the manual. M as in Mary. And that is addressing the council manner and limits. So currently it says each person addressing the council will give his or her name and address. And the proposal is to change that to each person addressing the council will give his or her location of residence, whether it's a city or the county or elsewhere. Rather than
Right.
requiring a specific street address.
I 100% agree with that. We should not be.
Do, now,
The addresses.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we wouldn't do an address?
No, we would just ask if the person resides in the city, in the county or elsewhere.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually, oh, I read one time that it backfired.
Mhm.
Someone was stalking somebody and found out.
Yep.
That's really good.
Okay. Is everybody comfortable with that?
I prefer the simpler, which is just, are you a resident of the city? Yes or no? I don't know. I really care otherwise.
It's basically, if you live in the city, you're a resident of Mason County.
Sure.
But yeah, do we want to make people in the county think they're not important? I think that the
We don't cover it in the county.
I know, but
So
they shop,
They're important,
but
I
they
can't
shop
solve their
here and they
problems.
drive here, so. I don't know, I think leaving the city and county is important, because that way they. We're more,
Sure. No problem.
Your affiliation to Shelton, I suppose. I live in the county, I shop here, I work here, whatever it is, then like that might be okay.
well, say, do you live in the city? That just,
Well, I mean, it's the constituents, though. I mean, do you live in the city?
Yeah.
It's a valid question. I mean,
Yeah, I would.
I don't think the county was important, but it doesn't really matter. To you, are you a United States citizen? I mean,
Yeah, the original, so the intent for this is follow up, right? So if they're a city resident, I live on 123 any street. Okay, cool, you got a parking complaint, right? Go, let's deal with it. So like, that's kind of, that's the purpose, right? So if we don't,
Right.
or if we have some other mechanism for them to record their contact information, I'm fine with that, because that's really what it boils down to, correct? It's,
Yeah.
For follow-up purposes, we'll have your information on the record. It's there, it's recorded. We follow up with you, problem solved.
And we do for the folks that sign up to speak. We have the sign up sheet outside. Which is brought in to Donna before the meeting. And if there's any questions from the folks on that list, I follow up with them and make sure to answer their questions the next day or, immediately thereafter. For folks that don't sign up or don't provide an address, because all it really needs is your name. But if you want follow up, you need to provide an email or a phone number legibly.
Some way to get hold.
Yeah.
So.
So-
First thing on record or something.
But either way, I mean, I think both versions of that language get to the same thing, city, county, or otherwise, or are you a city resident or not? Get to the same thing. It's just how, how council wants to phrase it. And either one doesn't really matter from our perspective.
The only time I see this, the only time I see this as being a benefit is if we had, let's say, I don't know, 100 people signed up for public comment on a topic. I want to prioritize the city residents, right? Depending on the issue, right? I may want to prioritize, give the city residents an opportunity to speak, because we may have a finite amount of time that we then dictate for that public comment period, right? We haven't had that yet. But we technically, we allot 15 minutes or whatever the, public comment period of time is. There may be moments where we have to conduct business, we have to get some things done in a reasonable time frame, getting, people lined up. I want a method to prioritize that, and as long as our procedures allow for that, I'm fine with leaving it or further defining. But
Okay,
I don't think it sounds good. Are you a resident of the city? I don't think it sounds good. I
Okay.
just think it makes people that shop here and drive our roads and use our parks and stuff feel like they're not welcome if we say, are you a city resident? So I don't know. I don't think it sounds good.
okay. So are we all comfortable with, please state if you're a city, if you're reside in the city, reside in the county, or reside elsewhere?
Fine.
Sounds great. Okay. Good deal. And then the last suggestion we had is if there was any consideration or any concern about changing the days or the start times for city council meetings. If there's not, then we're fine. If there's a discussion about different days or times, then we're happy to facilitate that.
I would like to see study sessions earlier in the day. That way different people can come that can't come at 6 o'clock, but
Yeah.
they used to be at 2 o'clock back in the olden days.
If I recall, the reason we changed that though was to allow people the opportunity if they're working or taking care of their kids during the day and can't get away, at least in the evenings, more people seem to have a chance to interact in the study sessions. We don't have public comment, so I don't know how much that matters in terms of what time we hold the study sessions, if public input is the reason for changing that.
That's right. We used to, they actually used to do business during study sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
we did.
Yeah, and I threw that out there to Jeff just because I think it's just worth throwing it out and asking the group. For me, 6 o'clock Tuesdays is fine. If we did it during a weekday other than a Friday, I'd have to take vacation to do it. I've got plenty of vacation time. I would like to spend it on a vacation, but so I'll go with the consensus of the group, but I just wanted to throw it out there because it's been a while since we visited. It's been 5 years, so
There's 3 new council people since we set that time.
just want to make sure, because this is the tool that governs when we meet formally. I just want to make sure it was given a shot.
No, Tuesday works.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's before 5, I can't make any promises with my schedule that I would be able to do this. And part of the reason this works is because it's after 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody comfortable leaving it a Tuesday at 2 o'clock? Or sorry, Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I had. The only suggestions that we had. Does council have anything else as part of the manual that they wanted to discuss or bring up?
Joe made a small point a minute ago, and I didn't think about that. We don't have a time limit for public comment. Should we?
We can, some jurisdictions, for whatever reason, school boards specifically usually limit total public comment to 30 minutes. And we can do that. It would need to be formalized and uniform across all public comment periods for it to be effective. So, if we wanted to settle in, let's say, we had 150 people here, 100 people here that all wanted their 3 minutes. We couldn't implement that requirement just for that meeting.
No, correct.
Yeah, we would have to do it for every meeting, regardless.
County does 15 minutes, I think.
Do they do
I think
15?
they do 5 minutes each or maximum 15, I think.
I've never seen 15, although I'll have to take a look at how the county runs their agenda. I have seen 30 a lot, but it's completely up to council.
Could we have a scale? If there's 5 people in here, then 3 minutes is fine. If there's 100 people in here, they get 2 minutes
Yeah.
or something. I mean,
I will
I've-
check with,
I
I'll
mean,
check
it-
with our legal counsel about that. I'm not positive.
it's been a long time, but I've seen this room with 150 people in here.
Yeah.
And standing outside
Right.
and a Dodge, the union thing. Yeah, what was that? Remember what that was? Right before our time, but yeah, some freedom caucus thing, I don't know.
Oh, wasn't it the
The
union?
union negotiations,
negotiations.
they wanted to open it up to
Yeah.
Public
to the
union
public, yeah, it
And
was,
always, when we had all that stuff going on, it was always packed.
So
what I
and
can,
on a business meeting agenda and why I would be interested in coming up with maybe some language and just on the business meeting agenda, we have. Certain action items that we've got to get through.
Mhm.
You know, in our meeting timeline, got to pay our bills. We got to execute contracts, you know, there's certain things that we just got to kind of get through. So for me, it would be either finding flexible language that allows chairs discretion to either. Adjust the time frame or adjust where on the agenda the public comment period is. So it's almost like we could. Handle certain business first, get to public comment, and then, you know, or whatever. I know we have public comment on business and on action. Plenty of opportunities for people to voice concerns and share their comments with us. I think we're not limiting that. I think we're just trying to protect a moment where we've got actual business that we have to get through and in our time that's allotted.
I can talk to our city attorney and then see
There's a flexible.
if other cities have something similar. Yeah.
Would be helpful to have that.
And I can bring that information to you when these changes come back to council for consideration on your regular business agenda.
And then just one bit of, I think maybe cleanup on 8.01. It says public comment at study sessions is limited to and the specific items on the agenda.
Mhm.
And I don't know that we've ever allotted time for public comment at the study session. So unless I'm,
I can change that language.
Yeah, not since the commission.
my
So
understanding,
yeah, we need to remove that.
8.01.
Yeah, page 27. Okay. Yep, I can change that.
All right.
All right, anything else?
Done with that one. Does the council have any? Oh, go
I
ahead.
was just say thanks for taking the time and
Yeah.
running us through that.
Yeah,
And just, you know, to reiterate, this is a ratified thing. This is the council protocol manual, is city ordinance. We vote on it. This is what guides us as a council and how we perform business, and it's actually essentially fulfill our duties in the position. So I think it's good to just bring this up once a year, just to take a look at it. We'll get new folks here and there, and it's just a good idea to keep coming through. There's really no other intentions, there's just a review. There's no other, you know, other issues out there that we were trying to resolve. I think at this point, it's just a fresh review of it. So thanks for guiding us through it.
absolutely.
All right. Council have any other new items for discussion? Then this meeting is adjourned at 21 PM.
You want to split the difference? YouTube, split the difference.
What did you,
Hey.
what did Jeff say?
He said 6:34.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said 15 minutes or less, but that's because we let Joe talk.
Oh,
So,